everyone, welcome to Watch It Paint. In this video I'm going to take a look at, do a review of the Desk Wizard by Game Envy. Guys, this is currently on Kickstarter. If you'd like to get it for a discounted rate, as well as sort of sculpt the project in the comments, you can generally approach Kit for things you'd like to see and get involved in that way, shape or form. I'll leave a link in the description below to Kickstarter so you can go and check it out. Just to mention, I did get this product for free about 5 months ago, but the link's non-affiliated. I don't make any money if you go and back it or anything like that. So just putting that out there. So let's look at the actual product and let's talk about the main two use cases, I guess, for it. One is it's a desk tidy. You can put some of your paints, your brushes, your phone, your reference art, that sort of thing on it and have a desk looking tidy. And you can get quite attractive color combinations as well if you want to make your desk look pretty as well, which is where I've been heading recently with my desk. I want to have a nicer environment to paint at. And the second one is you can collect up the paints to go and do a project, and then you can carry this with you and go and sit in a different location. If you're like myself and I move around the house a little bit, sometimes I paint at the kitchen table in the living room, spend some time with the family, but doing some painting as well. This is nice for carrying a load of your tools with you. Within that, that's the two use cases. There's a bunch of features. The first one to mention is this stand you get, and this has got a couple of uses. One is it can just sit there looking pretty, telling you it's by Game Envy. The second one is you can change the angle that the stand is at. You can click that onto there if you want it more angled towards you. Don't know if that's easy to tell, but it's now well off the ground. So that's pretty cool. If you want easier to paints to reach, I have it mostly at this angle because it's at the back of my desk and it just makes them a little bit easier to see and reach. Then the other thing this can be used for, it actually can be used for in both modes. You can use it for reference art. If like myself, you're copying along with the artwork for a miniature, you can pop it there so it's always very visible. In the other mode, you can balance it on here. This card's quite small, but it does fit. There you go, not bad. And then you can also put yourself a screen on here as well. It's a little bit difficult to see, but that will support a screen. Let's click it back in here. So you can, if like myself, I'm watching YouTube videos, Twitch while I'm painting, that can be quite nice. As well as, again, you can bring up reference art using a tablet. This is an iPad mini, but the iPad fits as well as just your mobile phone, but I use my phone for filming, so a little bit awkward in that regard for this video. The next feature, probably the most important one, is the paint holding slots. This takes every paint I own so far. I've not found anything it can't fit. Citadel paints, no problem. Probably the best one in there, but Army painters fit completely fine. You can also put them in upside down, and there's a sort of notch that kind of holds them by the lid. But you can be quite violent with this, and the paint's not going to fall out. Dark Star, that's no problem. What else have we got nearby? MSP. Again, that one's a good one for upside down because it should slot in those holes like so. Got some watercolors. I mean, you guys get the gist. You also fit random things in, such as magic spray that fits in there nicely, and super glues as well, so you can pop your glues in if that's helpful. So lots and lots of paint holding spaces. They're also double up as sort of like a wash wizard if you use a lot of washers, especially in these pots that are incredibly easy to knock over. You can pop them in and open them up in here, and it's just going to mean you can't spill this pot. So lots of paint pot holding potential here. Moving on from the paints, you can also hold your brushes. Now they've got these slots here that you can stand them up vertically, but you can also, once you've just washed them and used them and they're still wet and you don't want the dirty water to seep into the ferrule, you can place them horizontally here and give them some time to dry without any risk of damaging the bristles. And then once they're dry, yeah, plenty of, missed that one, plenty of slots to pop in. You can get 8 in here, and again, this little notch, have you guys seen this? There's this little hole here, and again, you can pop brushes in there if you would like. That does remind me, one of the negatives of it is I keep knocking over this stand in this position, forever lifting it like that. So I've started to switch to use it in this way, which means when I pick this up, it doesn't send it flying. So I'll mention that while I think of it, because it might slip my mind in a minute. But while we're also mentioning that, let's say if you happen to own their brush holder, you are also able to swap out the mobile phone stand or artwork stand if maybe you don't need that part, and you can switch in your brush holder, which does allow you to hold, well, it holds more than just brushes, but you can slap some brushes on here. Oh, that one's, have I found one that's too big? I mean, okay, so the Army Painter mighty dry brushes, a bit too big for the stand. Wow, I think that's the first thing I've ever put on here, which is too big, but you can get your brushes on there. You can get your pipettes on there if you want it. You can get your knives on there. You can get, I'm trying to find something on my desk to show you, but I've only got so much. Sharpies fit on there, anything you might want on this stand. So you can swap those out, and these are also available from Game Envy. And I think that's about it for all the features. Quite feature packed for such a sort of simple concept. And I'm surprised, I think I mentioned when I received this, that it might not be something I use that often. I'm very surprised that I use it. It is one of those tools that I didn't know I needed. I use it a lot more than I ever imagined I would. One, I can just quickly tidy up my desk once I've done a few paints and somebody's coming over and I don't want to look like a slob. Quickly put them to the side. Two, makes my desk look really nice. This has been on my desk every day since I got it. So for 5 months, it's been on my desk looking sweet. Then sometimes, and I don't always do this because I don't always know where I'm going, but if I'm painting a specific miniature, I might roughly know what paints I might want and start collecting them up in advance. So I've got them all ready instead of having to scramble around, especially when I'm recording, because I don't want to waste time looking for paint. But what I do find even more is while I'm painting and I start picking what colours I want, I just start storing them back in here. So I get them, I'm still getting them off the shelf one at a time, but I'll be popping them in here just in case I need to do any touch up, and then I've got them all handy. And then the biggest one I use it for is picking a project, picking all the paints and just carrying it downstairs and just take them all with me, go and sit at the kitchen table and just paint and be a bit more sociable when I'm not recording. So that's really nice. And another use case, which I didn't know was a thing, but I've discovered because I also own the Wash Wizards, which are just generally designed to hold Citadel paints and not spill them when you knock them. But my daughter, these are her 5 watercolor paints, has confiscated my 5 slot Wash Wizards, and she just keeps her paints in and she carries these around all day just as a game. She doesn't even paint half the time. It's just become this thing. She likes to carry her paints around, follow me around the house. So I'm sure if she got her hands on a bigger one, and if she had more paints, so it's just like a nice way if you've got very few paints, which I admit most of us probably aren't watching this video have got more than 14 paints, but if you've got children that we've got very select set, she doesn't need more than 5, she just mixes them all together and has fun, then this could be quite handy as a little, this is their entire paint collection sort of on display. Guys, I think I've covered everything I use it for and all of the features. The only negative I have, no, there's two negatives. The hobby holder doesn't fit in here, but I've seen on the Kickstarter that there's an adapter so you can slot this in, but it just, I mean, it makes sense because it fits these paints in snugly and this is bigger, but it's just a shame. You can put them in upside down. So if you did just want to carry one around, you just can't have the miniature on it. So that's a slight downside, but I think they've addressed that on the Kickstarter. I saw there was a free adapter included and it clicks on somewhere. So good on them, but yeah, you can't fit all your hobby holders on. And then the other thing is, and this is just me, I don't know if everyone else is doing it, I constantly keep putting it in this formation and then pick it up and it just sends that stance flying. And again, you just got to store it like that, or not keep picking it up with your phone attached. So it's just something to bear in mind that happens, but you could also just glue it so you can get around it. You know, if that's the formation you always want, just glue it in and it won't be a problem. But that's it. That's not the worst negatives, is it? This one's available. This is the 14 and this is available for $22, and there's a 10 size one, so which could be handy if you're using it for projects you don't generally go up to 14 paints, but a smaller one saves you a couple of bucks. It's $18, and then there's different tiers as well, so you can get combinations and save money, just like every Kickstarter ever. The more you buy, the cheaper it is, that sort of thing. So guys, any questions, let me know in the comments below. I will be happy to answer. And yeah, go and check out the Kickstarter if you're interested, and if you're not interested, you might be surprised how much you use it anyway, because I certainly was. I use it every single day, which is not something I would have thought if I'd not got one. That's it, guys. Thank you all ever so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Shouldn't be. I never am. So let's start again. If only I could do things good.